No detail is too small for Tennessee's Rick Barnes. That's partly what makes him a Hall of Fame coach and why he's consistently able to get some of the nation's top talent to Rocky Top. And that's partly, too, why they boast a top 15 recruiting class for the 2025-26 season. But how does he get the most out of that talent, whether it be in the newcomers or the team as a whole? Well, it's all in how he runs his practices, of course. And I'm sure a lot of us remember this moment before Tennessee traveled to Texas a season ago. Now, it's not that same level of intensity here in June, but don't tell that to the newcomers because even this summer level of intensity is enough to shock the system.
My welcome to Tennessee moment so far has definitely been Rick Barnes yelling at me every single day.
Now, don't misunderstand me. Practices are still very much intense, and you can hear an elevated voice from Rick Barnes from time to time. It just isn't going to look so ruthless as it did, let's say, in that first clip. But where and how that intensity reveals itself, again, is something that will change throughout, let's say, the course of this season. But it's all in an effort to maintain the standard, whether it's the standard of how summer workouts look and an effort to get them to what that standard will be once the regular season comes around. But where we especially see that intensity come up when a play isn't executed the way Rick Barnes called it up. That's where the details, the smaller the better, are the most important. I asked Amari Evans if he's experienced this type of scrutiny yet, and the consistent four-star freshman out of Georgia said, yeah, pretty much.
Yes, it was exactly a small detail. He wanted me to catch the ball at the top of the key, and I caught the ball in the slide. And he screamed at me so hard. And I was just surprised, like, I thought it was supposed to be right here. He said it wasn't, and I just didn't say nothing back, and he still yelled at me.
But that's what he came to Tennessee for. And he's not saying anything that we haven't heard before from dozens of past and current players. They want to be a part of Tennessee basketball. They want that tough coaching by Rick Barnes and the coaching staff because they know where it will get them. But for freshmen like Amari Evans, the shock and the transition goes beyond just that level of intensity. Some of the greatest change between the high school level to what they're seeing here, even in the summer, is understanding the speed, demand, physicality, and the IQ of the game that ends up being the greatest eye-opening transition.
I feel like I've practiced harder than I've ever played in any high school game, so that's been the biggest adjustment.
And it's that moment right there, that phrase where you hear, a practice is harder than a high school game that really highlights, let's say, that so-called welcome to Tennessee moment, because it really is much more than just getting yelled at like we mentioned a moment ago. It's everything that leads up to why you just got yelled at because you didn't have the speed, you didn't have the IQ, and you didn't have the execution that ends up being the greatest separator from being at the top of your game at the high school ranks to then coming to college and realizing you have so much ground to make up.
I don't think you have to gotta tell them. They know, it's like, man, coach, this is hard. Like, this is the toughest thing I've ever done. Or you talk to their coaches and their circle from back home and say, yeah, man, he said this is like really, this is tough.
And while tough coaching and Rick Barnes are like synonymous, players also know that they have to be compatible with that tough coaching. Otherwise, it's just not going to be a match made in heaven. So you have transfer Amari Abram, who is a veteran player. He's had 3 other stops in his career, one being another SEC team and the Ole Miss Rebels, where he played against a Rick Barnes-led team, understands how dynamic and how intense the coaching from Rick Barnes can come, but that's exactly what he wants because he knows it'll get him to where he wants to be.
Just being tough. He only recruits tough guys. Pretty sure if you weren't able to handle it, you wouldn't be able to come here.
And I guess if we're on the note of compatibility, right, and we're talking about match made in heaven, what have you, some of you will say too much girl talk, but I find it interesting too because it goes into this next part where the summer, while it's so much about the players figuring out where they fit in the system, where they need to grow, it's also a time for the coaches to get their first impressions and see what is that welcome to Tennessee moment for these players. How tough are they? How resilient are they? Where can they thrive? What's the best way to coach them? What's the foundation for these players that will all help them once the season rolls around, because they'll have all of this information to build off of really kind of when the clock starts ticking.
this summer is used to find all of that out that you can. You know, how tough are they? How are they going to react to adversity?
All of that, just details to a larger picture.
We lay it out to them, like to be great, to do what you're trying to do is going to be hard. And so it's our job to prepare you for that.
It's even through those moments, like Amari Evans will say, that it's a blessing to be in the orange and white.
It's a blessing, honestly, because every kid wants to play in the SEC. Every kid wants to play on an Elite 8 team. I mean, who doesn't want to play for Rick Barnes, Hall of Fame coach? So it's definitely a blessing.
So high school is no longer in session, and it's now time to get up to speed with SEC basketball, and the summer is just getting started, and we have so much more to talk about, all of the new faces and new places, the returning talent, JP Estrella looking really good out of the boot that he spent much of last season, and him coming back is a huge wrinkle for the team as well. So we'll have much more on Tennessee basketball coming into next week, but we've got Lady Balls, we've got the Golden Spikes coming up, so a lot happening here on the channel. So make sure you like, comment, engage, do all of those good things so you don't miss out on any of the content. Also, if you are a subscriber, please turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on all of the hard work that we're doing over here at Full Disclosure. I'll talk to you guys later.